Welcome back, everybody, to the Young Realty Podcast. In today's episode, I am talking about another acquisition that occurred this week for us on this podcast, Follow Me to Millions. So this past week, we acquired, we didn't acquire them this week, but we're closing this week on two properties. One was a rental property, one is a renovation and flip property, which is our bread and butter. It's what I do most weeks, most days. I spend every day looking for properties, looking for opportunities, managing what we have, renovating, and then ultimately selling the properties. And then from the profits we get from these flips, we then look into other investment vehicles such as mortgage lending and rental properties. So this week we closed on two. One was a rental property, and the other property is a flip. So this week's property we purchased about a month ago. It was on the market for, I want to say 60 plus days, just over 2 months, and it never sold, so we got a really good price on it. They were originally asking $1 million. They dropped it down to $975, I believe, was their drop, which wasn't a big drop, and then we got it for $950, which is higher than I would normally pay for it. But they wanted to pay me a commission, which I don't normally take on the flips. I usually build that into the net price, the sales price. So regardless of that, so on my net actual out-of-pocket expense will be $920 on this one after they pay out the commissions, and they also gave us a credit. Now this property doesn't show well like most of the properties we buy. It is I wouldn't say a hoarder's place, but there's certainly a lot of stuff there that doesn't need to be there, and they did not remove it, so we got another further credit of about $3,000. The problem with that is I don't want to deal with the headaches of having to book the elevators, book the movers, the labor guys. I got to book a garbage bin. I got to get all that coordinated now. So just an added step that I don't want, but they were unwilling to do it. It's their mess, and they just didn't want to clean it up. So they got to pay for it. So they gave us a $3,000 credit on that project. Now this property, we sold two other properties just like the same unit. One we sold for $1.368 million. I want to say a year and a half ago. Maybe a year ago, and the other one was we just sold for $1.3 million. It was a lower floor, so this one we should be sort of right in the middle there somewhere. So the value is probably 1.34, something like that. So it's gonna be another good successful project. $920 plus our costs into it. Our cost, it's a large place, about 2,200 square feet. So our renovation cost is gonna be about $110,000 on it. So that puts us in the sort of $1,030,000, $1,050,000 range for our cost in terms of renovation. And then we have obviously closing fees, which is about another $30,000 on top of that. So we're just under 1.1. Our carrying cost is very low. I put a large cash position down on this property, which I don't normally do. But just because of the circumstances we're in with COVID, I prefer to be in a cash position as opposed to a leveraged position with lending. So lenders are a little finicky, especially private lenders, especially in this marketplace, because if things go south fast, they can call the loan. And I don't want to be in that position. I've been in that position before. It's not good, not fun. I'll save that story for another day. So I opted for a cash position, but you don't have to be. So quickly on the financing, you can easily finance this at 100% financing, and how you would do it. So we put down about $260,000 on the down payment. So our mortgage is about $700. I think it's $690, something like that, is the mortgage on this property. The mortgage fee per month is just under $3,000 a month, so it's not overly large carrying cost on it. And what you can do is you can get a traditional mortgage of $700, just like I did. And then for the balance of the $950 or whatever it was, so it's like $250 minus fees. So it's like, so let's say you're looking for $250,000 as a second position. We're not talking about financing today. I just want to give you a quick little insight as to what I would do. I would just get either another property or two and with equity in it. And if that property has equity in it, you can get a second mortgage or a blanket mortgage or what we call a collateral mortgage on other properties to purchase this property. So you can effectively buy the property with no money down using 100% financing, but you just need multiple properties to do so. And it's It is a tool that I use all the time on a lot of properties. It's just because we're in strange circumstances right now. I don't want to be sort of at the mercy of private lenders because they're all acting a little finicky these days, myself included, on our mortgages. At the end of the day, I can call the loan whenever I want on the properties that I have deployed, but I don't because I like the cash flow. But everyone's different. Everyone's got different things they got to go through. They got different, businesses, and some people deploy money that they shouldn't, and people who do deploy money who don't need it but just want to call a loan just to sake to call a loan, they can do so. So just be cautious. A word of warning. So today I want to talk about the acquisition, though. It's more important. So how you find these places, I do the same thing every day. I look on the MLS. There are some websites that help me that are offline. Properties that are exclusive properties, but most of my opportunities are found just on the MLS, just like everybody else has the same opportunity. Just I look for them every day, day in and day out, and that's the biggest differentiator I find with most either investors, wannabe investors, even like semi-pro investors. They tend not to look at enough product, and if you just looked at enough product, you would find incredible deals just like this one. So if I go back to the numbers, $950 was the purchase with the $30,000 credit, which is a combination of commissions and credit for the garbage. It's about $30,000 reduction. So my costing is about $920. I'll be into it after the renovation, after the carrying and closing costs of just under $1.1. Conservatively, we'll sell it for $1.3. If the market recovers, this will be ready for the spring market, so it's really good timing. And the spring market, if all goes sound, just like the previous sale we did, and we get sort of that 136 mark, 137 mark, after paying out a commission of $40,000, which is a tough pill always to swallow. Even me as a realtor and investor, don't think you're different. Nobody likes paying commissions, but I like the buyers. So if the agent brings a buyer, I'm happy to pay it. So after paying that and closing fees, etc., then my net cost would be probably 1.3 on the sale on the back end. So I'm into it 1.1. 1.3 is probably my net cost after everything is said and done. So it's about $200,000 profit, which isn't bad. This will be a higher investment, so it would create a lower investment return because I'm putting more cash down. When I'm doing 100% financing, there's no cash, none of my cash is into it. So the returns are much higher, of course. But this one, my total cost in with the down payment, it'll be about $400,000 with a $200,000 return. So it's about 50% return on your investment. We'll be in and out of this project in about 8 weeks. So I'm happy to take a 50% return on my investment in a pandemic at 50% return, which is that's not even annualized. If I annualize that and multiply it times 6, you're about 300% return if I do that every couple months, which is what we do. So that's how we generate the money in the flips. That's a case study for this week. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us. We're always here to help you out and grow your own portfolio.